We are allegedly taking a more serious note today.
Yeah.
As, again, allegedly, we shall see. As Haley shares with us her testimony, just giving us an overview of where she came from, how she really encountered the Lord, and again, an overview of everything in between. I'm sure we could do 1,000 testimony episodes and come up with something new.
Yeah.
And we really hope that her story resonates with you. And I don't know, I might learn some things about Haley that I don't know yet. With that,
I know. I'm kind of an open book.
you're gonna know who you are, but I don't feel like I've heard the whole story.
I don't think you have heard the whole thing.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna wholly surrender that today.
Yeah. Feel free to ask questions though, because like,
oh, I will.
This is the first time that I've given my testimony without like my notes in front of me. So
you gotta wholly surrender that.
I know.
Ooh.
I'm gonna surrender my story.
Yes, and we're gonna invite you to wholly surrender too.
Yeah. What she said.
Do we need to do the intro again?
No, please. I'm just so focused.
Yes, don't be
It
nervous.
doesn't happen very often that I'm like super focused.
Bougie water too.
I know. Busting out the health.
Yeah, for sure. Go you. I'm wearing off on
I
you.
try sometimes. I know. Like I only drink water around Jill.
That's why we hang out so often. I keep her alive.
She goes, "It's water time."
It's water o'clock. Like in Trolls, they're like, "It's hug time."
Hug
And they hug
time.
everyone. I have a watch that says like, "It's
Drink your
time."
water.
Actually, it tells me to stand up. Get off
Get
your butt.
up, you lazy. No, I guess you're not lazy. That's so funny. We do not sit because we're lazy. We sit because we are actively working on all of the things.
We're pumping out mean content.
Yeah.
Fire content.
It's not mean, it's fire. We don't post mean content.
You're a lean, mean
No,
machine.
I get what you were saying. Like it makes sense.
Okay, are you saying I have to speak in Gen Z terms? Because I don't do that well. I don't speak my generation.
Praise God for that.
Praise
I don't.
God Almighty.
Good God Almighty.
As long as you're wearing that sweatshirt in these episodes,
I know.
I'm gonna be.
I know. It's
gonna be.
This is actually the first time
Holy
I've worn this sweater.
It is super cute.
Thanks.
And it is officially gonna be in our merch store.
Yay!
Yes. I think we also are gonna make a T-shirt that says "overtired and overcaffeinated" because we say that every episode.
Yep.
And it's relatable.
It's just
content.
like our state of life. Like that is our constant state.
We are both mothers.
Overtired, overcaffeinated. Yeah.
And actually, I don't think we get overstimulated in the same way that most people do. I think we eat overstimulation alive. We're like, I see you, and I raise you my to-do list.
Yeah.
Get behind me, overstimulation.
Mad facts.
So anyways,
that's funny.
your testimony?
Segue right into that.
The segue was, there's no segue.
There's no segue. It's a trick.
I was trying to get your mind off of it so you would just be like, nope, okay. Anyways, experiment failed. Moving on.
It's fine. Okay, so in the beginning,
There was the word.
there was the word
was
before was God. Tell me you're Catholic without telling me you're Catholic.
May the force be with you. And also with you.
And also with your spirit.
You cannot watch Star Wars and be Catholic because you will they'll be like, may the force be with you. And
Okay.
you'll be like, and with your spirit, sir.
So I have not watched Star Wars, okay? So I only know certain Star Wars references. I don't know why I'm stalling.
Winter.
I've given my testimony enough times.
Yes.
It's not,
So
I mean,
you
it's
started
just,
in childhood? Yes.
I mean, that's kind of where it all starts because, so my parents got divorced when I was 1. My bio dad was not faithful to my mom. And, so they split and I had a visitation schedule and that's just kind of where everything started. Mm-hmm. So, I spent most of the time with my mom and that was great and very fruitful. She was, she's always been Catholic, always had a love for Jesus and raised me to be the same. And then I would go over to my bio dad's house, and it was very different. He ended up marrying the gal that he cheated with, and she was less than kind, I guess is the professional, polite way to say it.
Probably best to keep it professional.
Yeah, it's like if you get me, catch me when we're not online. I'm yeah, for reals.
Ooh, that could be virtual.
Coffee with Haley. No, I mean, and now that I've done a lot of healing, so I try to keep it more polite than I used to. There's a lot less anger there than there used to be. I mean, I think there's righteous anger now, like and especially because in the past, like So when I went over to have visitation with my dad, it was never. He never wanted to spend time with me. He married her. She had 2 kids. And he would always spend his time with her or was reprimanding her kids. They were pretty troubled. And they were not kind to me. They were quite a bit older than me. So I think I was a good 10 years younger than my then stepsister, and I think the brother was 2 years younger than her. I don't remember. He's in prison now, so that's fun. Like it tracks. Maybe
you.
He's just I know. Well, I'll tell you a little. I'll tell you. So he growing up, I think the most woundedness that I got from this experience was the fact that my bio dad did not want me. And that has been a really, really deep wound. And I still deal with that from time to time. It's not as bad as it used to be. But it's just the constant rejection of the one man who was supposed to love me.
And show you the Father's love.
Right. And that sucks. And he,
for sure.
Yeah.
Can't imagine.
And then he, okay, so when I was 7, I think it started when I was 7 or 8, maybe. My then stepsister, I had to sleep in her room one night, and she wanted to play a game.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. And so she was doing sexual things to me, and
we have the same kind of testimony.
We do?
We do.
Wow.
Whoa. How old were you?
Oh, 7.
Oh my gosh, I was 8 or 9.
Yeah.
7, 8. We were in the same.
My God, it's God knows what he's doing or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, that wasn't his choice.
No, I know, but putting us together, I mean.
You're right. Being able to share and mine was also from a female.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Sad days. Yeah.
That I feel like that tipping point spirals you quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it does, and
Lust is ridiculous when you have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
And your body knows what it is.
Mm-hmm. So it was. That went on for about 2 years ish.
Okay, mine was one instance, so you got me there.
No, it's not a competition, Jill. Jeez, my trauma's worse than yours.
Isn't that what we do these days, Haley?
No,
Everything is a trauma war.
No, it should not be a trauma war. Don't do that. It's not a trauma war.
We planned this skit to be a
None of this is planned.
It's never planned, but the Lord uses my mistakes to make good lessons. Oh, stop it. You are not shaking that hard.
I'm not shaking at all.
Mary, you're going to have to get us back on track.
Yeah. Who said just because it's a testimony there would be no segues?
Anyone who has not listened to this podcast before had no idea they were getting into.
Surprise! It's us.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, so that went on for about 2 years. And I didn't tell anybody, literally nobody, until I was 17. And I actually told my pastor, because I was at a tech retreat.
Oh, yeah.
And I told him in confession. Mm. And that was actually the first time I ever went face-to-face. And, yeah, so anyway, then the brother was a whole nother trip. He when I was like 6 years old, I think, he chased me around the house with a butcher knife.
What?
Yeah, he was wearing the Scream scary mask.
Oh my gosh, was
Yeah.
it an actual knife?
Yeah. Yeah, it was like a for real knife.
Oh my god.
Like he, and then
Terror.
yeah, it scarred me forever.
Yeah.
I've only ever had like one like true nightmare, and like actually like a dream nightmare, and I had it for years, and it was the same. It was terrifying, and I would just have it over and over, and it stopped years ago now, but I came to find out like the scary thing in the dream was him, and like the trauma that caused me, and so anyway, all of that, and then going into high school. High school was rough because I was awkward.
High school is rough, period.
For everybody. I know it is. High school.
School.
High school is terrible.
Don't recommend it.
Have no desire to
Homeschool.
go back to high school.
Same.
Have no desire to even go back to the reunions. Like we just had our 10-year reunion, and I was like, pass. Like, I have no desire.
Every fall fest in this town, you can essentially go to this massive reunion situation, and I'm like, okay,
Maybe not.
thank you. Maybe not. Yeah.
So, yeah, high school was interesting. My very first year of high school, people that didn't even know me were calling me all sorts of terrible names. Like, just because they can.
It's amazing how that happens.
Yeah. Like,
And how that obstructs your identity.
Yeah. And so, like, I already struggled with my identity and all of these other spirits of, like, worthlessness and rejection and, you know, all the really fun ones.
Oh, yeah. All the...
And then, you know, piling all of that on top of the experience from my peers in high school. And I was like, damn, I really am worthless. You know, it sucks.
It does.
So I really struggled in high school. I finally found a good group, and I mean, I think there were probably 8 to 10 of us, just that we just kind of hung out, and that was fine. That was good. Still friends with most of them on Facebook, and that's cool. I love to see what they're up to. And then what else happened in high school? See, this is why I need my notes, because there's so much stuff. Oh yeah. Okay, so actually, Braden happened when I was 8. Like, Braden and I met when I was 8. Yeah. I've known my husband since we were 8 years old.
That is so cute.
Mm-hmm. We're adorable.
We are precious.
It's actually a really funny story. So segue into a different story.
So technically your testimony.
It is. No, but so Braden was really close to his grandpa, and his grandpa passed away when he was 8. When Braden was 8. Not when his grandpa was 8.
Around the time that, like, you met then.
Yeah, so it was like, so his grandpa passed away. I don't know how long it was before I met him, but I think it was all within the same year-ish. And my grandma and his grandma were really good friends, and I know, it was very sweet. And my grandma took me and my sister over to his grandma's house where he and his sister were at. So we were all just kind of playing, and, you know, knowing my experience, you know, it's funny looking back now at my life, and I'm like, that is why that behavior happened. So I was a little boy crazy when I was 8. Well, and it's probably because of what happened when I was 7.
Yes. 100%.
But so I was hanging out with Braden because our sisters were younger and annoying, right? So
That is always the way you bond with a guy. Like, think about it. You're like, other people, so annoying. Like, I'm too cool for them. Let's hang out.
Please.
Like, come on. You can't tell me you haven't done that.
I'm sure I have. I don't.
You know, guys, you gotta be, like, too cool for school.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's, like, the thing. Anyways.
Well, it must have worked because we're married with 4 kids, so I know what I'm doing.
Be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah.
The first fruit was at 8.
So yeah, we met at his grandma's house, and we went downstairs, and he was like, "Hey, sit in this chair." And I was like, "Tee-hee, okay." So I sat in the chair, and he was like, he goes, "My grandpa died in that chair." Scared the crap out of me. I jumped up, and I'm sure I ran because I don't handle, like, don't want to see the body in the casket.
Knife incident.
Yeah,
Too.
and poor Brayden had no idea about my trauma.
No, of course not.
Nobody knew about
Now
my trauma.
he knows.
Now he knows everything. But, so I, ran, and I don't remember much after that. But then we didn't see each other for years. And,
You're like,
like,
hey,
I
remember
would...
that time?
So I would go, we would happen to be at the same mass, and I'd go see his grandma and say hi. And he would wait in the background and not come say hi. I didn't see him. I didn't even know he was there.
Cute.
I think he did. And I'm pretty sure he'll tell you that because, God, it was adorable.
Boys.
But I'm just kidding. I was a really awkward middle schooler.
Folks, this is
I was
the
a
same
chubby
Haley
kid.
that after the Christmas market, I was like, Mike, what was it like raising her as a teenager? And she was like, I was a dang delight.
Mm-hmm.
Except she didn't say dang.
Yeah. Yes, I know. I need to have a swear jar at my house.
You'd be rich.
Add money in there. With my money.
I
Be
will
rich
take
with my money.
I will spend your money.
Maybe that's not a good
Just
idea. It might motivate me.
I was going to say, it might be our coffee fund for these nights. These late nights.
That
we
might be
batch
okay.
episodes.
I don't know if that would motivate me well, though.
Okay.
Oh, well, we'll just get
Never mind.
coffee with it.
Anyway, so he didn't say hi to you.
No, so he just kind of hung out in the background.
So how did you end up with him in high school?
So we went to different high schools. I went to Bishop Carroll. He went to Mays, and
Okay.
he was getting ready for prom, and he didn't want to take anybody that he went to school with, and so he asked his grandma, "Hey, what about Susie's granddaughter?" And so our grandmas played matchmaker and exchanged our phone numbers, and he called me, and we went on our first date, and we got really terrible coffee at Donut Hole.
Uh-huh.
And then we went walking around the Keeper.
Uh-huh.
And he is super introverted and
You are super not.
pretty shy, and he could not stop talking the whole night.
What?
Yeah. We talked for hours. It was the most natural thing.
Ethan and I are the same way, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was wild. And I remember I was so nervous, but also very comfortable.
I think there was also for me, I can't even believe I'm doing this, because I swear I would not date this man. I said it wouldn't be him.
Uh-huh. And now you're having babies.
I have ate that slice of humble pie. And it is delicious.
That's funny. Okay, so we're gonna keep going here because Jill's having a moment. So, anyway, so yeah, we dated for, a year and a half. Broke
I
up.
need to see these prom pictures, by the way.
Oh, they're great. We were cute.
You say that about everything. Anyways.
Well, it's because it's true. Everything is great.
My confidence. So you dated for a year and a half?
Yes, dated for a year and a half.
Was this sophomore, junior?
This was
freshman,
junior,
sophomore?
senior.
Junior, senior.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to junior prom together, and actually senior prom was on my birthday, so that was pretty fun. I turned 18
cool.
at prom. And
Is your birthday in
April.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So, he broke up with me right after high school. And which was almost. It was I'm still, and he knows I'm still bitter. Not actually bitter, but
I was gonna say,
I'm not really bitter. I just like to say that I'm bitter.
Forgiven.
Yes. So because Braden and I, the love that we had for each other was very real. We were just too immature to handle it, and so there was a lot of we argued a lot, and we were that couple that we had to be with each other all the time.
I think
And
that's every high school couple.
yeah, and we were just not mature, and
That's why I have to be with each other all the time. I do believe they call that codependent.
yeah, that's the proper term for it. And it was to the point where I wanted him to have friends, and I wanted him, to hang out with his friends, but
I also didn't want to let him go.
right.
Yeah.
So like that was kind of a thing with a friend of his when we got back together. His friend, I don't think, was super excited because he was like, he remembered what I was like in high school, and I'm like, oh, damn, that stinks. Like, I'm not the same person, I swear.
Well, I thought about that too when like it came to my in-laws, because who I was in high school and even in college was crazy different. I was like, oh no, like,
I know.
I really want this to work out, but what if they figure out who I am?
What if they know me?
Oh no.
My disguise isn't working.
It's like when your kid like puts the blanket in front of their face and they're like, if I can't see you, you can't see me.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not real.
This is the adult version. Okay, so you broke up with you, and
well, okay, so back to that. Why I'm bitter, because I was gonna break up with him. Listen, this man talked me into staying in the relationship and trying to work on it, and then 2 weeks later he broke up with me, and I was mad. I was so mad, but also heartbroken. Like, I didn't get out of bed for a day. Like, it was bad. My heart never hurt so bad. It was rough.
Good thing it's right.
Like, it was, I mean, thank God for that, because I was a hot mess without him. But he was without me too, so. Like, we got back together. We went separate ways, and we lived a lot of life in 4 years. Like, it's rough stuff. But,
okay, if you could summarize.
well, that's actually part of my testimony.
In 4 years. Oh, never mind. Oh, but still, I want to hear this. If you could summarize those 4 words in 4 years, what would it be?
4 years and 4 words. Okay.
You lived 4 lives.
So, yes, Braden and I broke up, and then he did some things, and I
did some things.
Yes, I did. I'm trying to figure out where I'm at in my other testimony. So high school was rough. When I was 15, I told my dad that I didn't want to have visitation with him anymore because, let me backtrack. When I was 10, I started having conversations with him, and it ended up being an annual conversation. I had one for 5 years until, when I was 15, during these conversations, I was like, hey, this is how you're hurting me. And, it hurts. I don't want to do this anymore. I want things to get better. And, he typically would call me a liar and tell me that's not how it went. And, it was just a really bad situation. And then, when I was 15, I had one final conversation with him and was like, hey, I can't do this anymore. I really need this to be different. And he said, okay, it will be. I'm sorry. And that was the first time he ever apologized to me. He said, I'm sorry. And he was crying, and it felt sincere. And I think he wanted it to be sincere. But
sometimes you're so buried in wounds, that's not even possible.
Right.
And you don't know what to do.
So he told me things would be different, and we set up a date to go get ice cream, just he and I, outside of our scheduled visitation. Because this was my mom had always said, Gary, if you want to come get her for anything, just let me know. We'll make sure that happens. Because my mom was very big about this is her dad, and she didn't want to be, the parent that kept her kid away, and So my mom handled it all very well, given the situation between the two of them. But yeah, anyway, that day came. We were going to go get ice cream. And I remember, I will never forget. I was waiting by the window in my mom's dining room. And I just sat there and I waited and I waited. And I watched the clock. And the time came and went. And I still waited and I watched. And he never pulled on the drive. And, I could feel my heart physically sink. And I called him and I was like, hey, are you still coming? And he goes, oh no, I'm sorry, I gotta pay bills. So yeah.
What kind of okay.
That's all he said. And so
you said, we're done.
So yeah, I hung up and had a good cry. And then a couple days later, I decided, like, I have to protect myself because this is just too painful to be constantly rejected by my dad.
Yeah.
Like, that, it hurts. And so I called him and I said, hey, I don't want to have a visitation with you anymore. Like, I can't do this. And I don't remember the whole conversation. It was pretty brief, but the last thing he said to me was, fine, bye. And he hung up. And that's the last thing I heard from him for 10 years. That sucked. Like, it hurt.
But, I mean, good on you for setting the boundary.
Yeah, and that's...
that takes a lot of willpower, especially at the fresh age that you were.
Yeah, and that's why... I think that's a big reason why high school was so hard for me and why, like, a lot of people didn't understand me in high school. Like, nobody knew what I was going through.
No.
Like, my friends knew that it was hard. My friends knew that I had daddy issues. But nobody knew the extent. Nobody knew what I was actually going through. So it was like the only person that really understood it were my mom, and I call my stepdad my dad. So like my mom and my dad knew, and my family. But it felt very isolated.
Yeah.
And then
and that's what Satan. That's exactly the spot he wanted you in.
Right. And it is good that I protected myself and I drew that boundary. That does not mean that it doesn't come without its own set of wounds.
Oh, 110%.
So setting boundaries can be painful because I then felt guilty and I had to carry that about, all of that.
Yes, the enemy was trying to get you in isolation, but God also knew what good could be brought out of that situation. And honestly, how many people that if you haven't already, you might already encounter that have underwent something similar to you that you can say, hey, I've been there.
Yeah.
And God is greater.
Well, and I think that's the beauty of, like, that's why we're doing this, right? That's why we share our testimony, because we all have wounds, and it's not a competition. It's not a whose trauma is worse. It is...
I
know, but that's such an easy trap to fall into, especially like
really
when you're in ministry.
Shout out to the Holy Spirit.
When you're in ministry, it's really easy to be like, well, my wounds, I wasn't molested as a child like Haley, so I can't tell like my story. Like, no, please do. I want to hear your story.
Your set of wounds, obviously it's a culmination of our choices that end up there, or others' choices that land us in that position. But God allowed that position specifically because He knew you would need the virtues, the healing that you would go through. He knew that you would come out stronger on the end of all of it. Job came out stronger on the end of all of his. I mean, if you just read Job, you'd be like, okay, that's it.
Oof.
I don't have a testimony, because he literally had nothing. Everything was stripped from him.
Yeah. And
we all have our Job moments, and being stripped raw is no good. Jesus was stripped raw and then whipped. It all happens, but I mean, I have personally not been stripped down and scourged at a pillar, but there have been moments in my life that have felt painful like that. And that's where He kind of invites us into the passion, because on the other side is Easter Sunday, and you have no idea how many hearts He will touch.
Right.
By being vulnerable.
Well, and that's just like, so I've been serving, I've kind of stepped back because I've just got so much on my plate, but I served in Unbound for the last 3 years, and I have had the pleasure and honor of giving my testimony at almost every retreat for the last 3, almost 4 years. And inevitably, there's always at least 2 people that come up to me, and lots of people come up and tell you thank you, because that's really hard to be vulnerable, especially to a big group of people. But there's inevitably 2 or 3 people that come up and like tell me how much my story resonated with them, and like start telling me their story, and how, something that I said in my testimony has highlighted an area that needs healing, or has started healing something in them. And that's why testimony is beautiful, because
God Almighty,
God takes our wounds and our baggage and our sufferings, and He turns it for good. Right? We just have to be the willing participant.
Oh yeah, 110%. It's one. Put a pin in this, but one day I'll have to tell you the story of the time I told my testimony at a retreat, and then got kicked off the retreat team.
Okay, we're coming back to that.
The 4 lost years, because we've now
Oh yeah.
3 times
So,
and haven't said anything. So you
right.
set the stage here with your dad and
Yeah. So yeah, like
the things.
all those wounds, and then so after I graduated high school, after Braden broke up with me, I was lost and looking for a place, and so my mom suggested that I go out to the WSU Newman Center, and beautiful people out there. I made some friends and some people that I'm still in contact with, and I kind of struggle with being embarrassed because I'm like, you guys knew the worst version of me.
Oh yeah,
like,
sure.
and some of them are still here with me, so shout out to you guys.
Oh yeah,
like I come back, but
I'm glad that became like a home for you in a way, or like a place.
It did. So it was.
That's the exact place where I got kicked off.
What? Okay, so I wouldn't say that it was a home. I would say that that's where I started, right? So that's where, like, I went there right after high school, first year of college, and there were some people in the group that went out to Club Rodeo, and somebody invited me to go, and it was fun, and that's where I learned I really like to dance, and I'm good at it. My husband now does not dance ever, so
catch us on the dance floor.
Yeah, please.
Okay, I don't know where, but
we don't go anywhere.
My playset is a great dance floor.
Anyway, more on that later. But anyway, so that's where, like, I liked Club Rodeo because I liked dancing, and there were lots of men that knew how to dance at Club Rodeo. And it was really fun. And then, so it just kind of spiraled from there. And I started falling into the wrong crowd, made friends with the wrong people, became really good friends with the owner and the bartender. Like, lots of the bartenders, actually.
That does not surprise me at all.
I would...
Of course she would befriend everyone.
Yeah.
Of course she'd wave and be like, oh, hey, bud.
Yeah.
You know, every time.
So it was so funny. Like, I was so, and it's so funny, but not funny how Satan does this, right? Like, I felt seen at the club. How gross. But I look back now and I just cringe because I'm like, what was I doing? But, you know, guys paid attention to me there. They gave me what I was lacking my entire growing up. Right? Like, they...
Allegedly.
Exactly. Like...
Surface level.
Quotations around that. So, you know, that's kind of where it got off for me. And I mean, it was off before that, but things got really bad. Right.
Yeah.
Because it was not too long after that I got pregnant.
Dun.
Yeah, no,
lessons with Haley.
It's like there's some heavy balance of what to do and what not to do. So anyway, at 19 years old, I got pregnant with my daughter, and I think I said this in the last episode. That's kind of where all my friends left me because I couldn't go party anymore. I couldn't, you know, I wasn't cool anymore. And I don't know if they thought I wasn't cool. I just didn't. You know, I had to stop doing the things, and everybody was kind of in their own space anyway. So it was, you know, college. All your high school friends disperse, and just add a baby into the mix made it harder. And then I actually did have a friend from high school that, I mean, I thought we were fairly decent friends, but she could not stop pointing out the fact that I was living in sin, and that I, you know,
like in a way you failed,
right? Like I did it wrong, and she, like, I think she was, I don't know if she was trying to tease me and be funny, or if, like, it felt like there was genuineness behind her slander, and that was painful because, like, obviously I know, right? Like, I'm living it for the next 9 months. I got it. Thanks.
Yeah, my
so
mom once was like, we should show extra mercy in a certain way, like, to those who do get pregnant out of wedlock, because they're like that.
It's
that
everybody
so
sees your
obvious.
sin.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it is plastered on the front page Like,
and it was,
if you leave the front door.
There were plenty of people at my parish that gave me dirty looks my entire pregnancy. And then as soon as I popped the baby out, they were like, oh, she's so cute. And I'm like, you can step away from me. Before I knew about forgiveness.
Shout out to God.
Thank you for teaching me so much.
Dun, dun, dun.
So yeah, but yeah, so it was really awkward. And actually, I remember the first time. Oh my gosh. Okay, so when I was determined to hide my pregnancy from my mom as long as I possibly could. I was not going to tell her till I started showing, and like could not hide it. And I was hoping that would be like 7-8 months. That was the goal for me.
You got to be like 6 feet tall to hide a baby that long.
I could have worn baggy clothes. No, I couldn't. It was summer.
Your mom would have probably known something was up.
Listen, okay, so God went, ha. Okay, because at church, okay, so I found out that I was pregnant on Friday. My sister was going to her very first prom on Saturday. So, like, I found out Saturday morning. I found out the day of her prom. And so, like, I had...
like 5 weeks? Like, it was early, or was it later?
No, it was so early. Because, like, getting pregnant with Joanna was the wildest thing, because I knew instantly. I knew, like, when it happened, I was like, I'm pregnant. I just had to wait 5 weeks to take the test. So, like, I could feel it inside of me. Yeah. It was wild, and I never felt that with the other kids. Yeah, it was, I don't know that I don't think I even told my mom that.
That's crazy.
It was, I will never forget it, because I knew. Yes. So,
crazy.
I know. So anyway, I found out Saturday morning that I was pregnant, and it was like just confirmed. And then I had to go be around my family and not say anything and like live in this guilt, but try to put on a happy face because it was my sister's first prom. Yeah. And like my family would do everything big. So my mom made this big dinner and decorated and like made it like a restaurant for Sydney and her friends. And it was very uncomfortable for me. And then the next day, I think it was that day that I was like, I'm not telling her at all, ever. Yeah. We're not talking about this.
Even when I have
ever.
She won't know.
So I went on Sunday. We went to Mass, and they had somebody from A Better Choice come and speak and tell the congregation about A Better Choice. And I was like,
Lord, what is up?
Yeah, he knew. So I'm sitting there soaking in this guilt, and I'm like, I'm not addressing this. Like, we are just pretending like this person is not here. And
just like our earlier conversation.
And then and my mom used to volunteer at A Better Choice. So and I'm like thinking, okay, great. This person's going to stop talking. We're going to move on. I don't have to say anything. It's fine. We go outside, and my mom doesn't stop talking about how great A Better Choice is, and unplanned pregnancy, and da-da-da-da-da. And then, like, 3 people come up to my mom and are like, I remember you from A Better Choice, or, just talking about, like, it continued on and on and on, and I could hear, like, the Lord was screaming at me. And I was like, okay, I get it.
Your conscience
I will.
Was doing the theme from Psycho. It was like,
it was, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was my angel going, we're going to talk about this. No! So we got home, and I sat on my bed, and my mom came in, and I was like, I have to tell you something. And she sat down, and she goes, okay. And I said, I'm pregnant. And she just sat there. She did not yell at me. She was the most calm, cool, and collected person I've ever seen in my life. And I was expecting her to flip her lid. And it was...
Lord, wait till like...
oh my gosh, I know.
With like the Better Choice thing. Like,
yeah.
We just talked about...
Yeah.
Like, with all these people who minister...
Yeah.
In that situation, including your mom.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like...
Well, and okay, so I wasn't going to say this, and I don't think my mom would mind because she's given her testimony plenty of times publicly. But my mom got pregnant at 16 and gave her baby for adoption. And so she had to tell her parents that she was pregnant at a young age. Mm-hmm. And I just put her in that situation. Mm-hmm. So she called my grandma and was like, Mom, I know how you feel or how you felt. And I was like, oh.
Please tell me you have renounced and broken this generational thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just like,
we got that covered.
Chains, be gone.
Uh-huh. So, yeah, it was, so she let me know that she was disappointed that I made the choices that I made, but I'm pretty sure she knew that stuff was going on because I was not, like, my mom and I are besties. Like, we are tight. And
probably because you're a copy paste.
Yeah, we are quite literally the same person, just 20 years apart. But she was very calm, cool, and collected, and let me know, I'm disappointed, but I'm here for you.
I can just hear her be like, okay. Or a little like,
I know.
That's the word. Like, okay. Well.
Yeah. She just took a deep breath, and I was like, hit me! Just do it!
Right
here. I was like, something to make this guilt leave. So it was bad, but I will never forget though, because so I found out in it must have been April.
December?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you would have found out in like
April.
April-ish.
Yeah. So I will never forget.
Don't touch me, March.
Yeah, don't even look at me, Brayden. March is off limits. He's like, all right, December. Along come Luke in September.
My parents landed 3 out of 4 kids in July and 1 in August, even though he was supposed to technically be September. And I was like, what is the deal with October? And they were like,
It started getting cold.
No, my mom
trapped
was like,
inside.
I don't know. I would think about like maybe having another kid and the Lord would make it happen. And I'm like, okay, that checks out for you. So
yeah.
My dad's like, I literally have no clue. Like,
the Lord,
we're shocked she had 4.
The Lord actually gave me my word for 2022 through your mom.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Mm-hmm. It was just mother.
And she
I had just had 2 kids, basically Irish twins, and I was very tired. And I had made it through almost a calendar year without getting pregnant. And along comes Renee. And she's like, I feel like your word might be mother. Why don't you pray? And I was like, oh, no. I was like, I said, Renee, if I get pregnant, I am coming after you.
Take your prophetic word and you walk away.
Over there. She's like, I'm going to hold it, but it doesn't mean it's not yours.
Along came Lukey Pookie.
Yeah, then Lukey Pookie. So, but yeah, anyway, so.
Make a mug tumbler or just a mug that says, Dear God, Mommy is tired.
Mommy is tired, yes. That is the prayer. Yeah, so anyway, okay, back to, so my mom, I told her in April, and along comes Mother's Day, and we're at church, and, they usually have the mothers stand and pray a blessing over the moms, and I sat there, and she grabbed my hand and pulled me up, and, continued to hold my hand, and I just lost it. I was like, oh my God, like I knew I was pregnant, but, like
shame, guilt, embarrassment, but also honor, because you get blessed as a mom.
Well, and it wasn't even it was more of my mom is standing here with me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry. The solidarity and support that I got in my shame was...
Oh, man. Solidarity and support in shame. I think everyone would live such different lives if they had that. Yeah.
So
because
that was...
we rot in our shame in the dark.
I mean, I was not...
It's gotta come in.
I was not... I knew I have a baby inside of me. I'm a mother. I was not going to stand.
Yeah.
Because at that point, nobody in the church knew because I wasn't showing, obviously. So it's not like we're putting it out on Facebook. So...
don't at me, okay?
Yeah. It's like, right. So, I'm sure some people, I don't know who we knew that was around us at that time, but some people saw her pull me up, and obviously I was not wearing a ring. So, like, that was the day that some people could see.
That the world knew.
Yeah, but my mom was there with me, and I just knew everything was going to be okay. Yeah. So, anyway, then I had Joanna, and motherhood has been a wild ride ever since. But about 10, no, how long has it been? 10, 5, 4 years ago-ish, I reached back out to Gary. And more because I missed my family. Because after, like, cutting things off, I lost contact with them, and part of it was, like, my grandma couldn't just be grandma.
Yeah.
She kept trying to fix it.
Yeah.
And, which I get, that's her son, you know. She wants it to be fixed. But anyway, so I reached out and I was like, hey, let's chat, and told him all the things, and it was fine. We tried to talk again, and it was always me initiating, reaching out, hey, how are you? Let's do something. Well, now he's got 2 younger kids that are about my kid's age. Yeah, my little sister is just days older than Joanna.
Is this with the same?
No.
Oh.
No,
okay.
this is
Confused.
a new woman.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Not going to say much because he's still married to her.
No, I was like, this is a different part of the story. And
It's
I'm not
yeah,
asking
it's
you to deviate,
no, it's fine.
I was just like, wait a minute, we just talked about someone who had. You had siblings that were almost a decade
older. Yeah,
step siblings that were almost a decade older than you.
Yeah, so they broke up.
So for you to have, like,
now I've got actual siblings
that are like 20 years younger.
They're
than you?
half. So they're actually blood.
Oh right, half siblings.
Yes,
Sorry. Have half siblings that are like 20
years younger than me.
Years younger than you.
I think my brother is.
That seems like
my
the
brother's
age
12.
doesn't match for it to be the same woman.
Right.
That's why
so
I asked
it's
the question.
yes, yeah, no, it's very much a new person. It's also not great. So
I gotcha. Okay, so you now have half siblings that are basically the age difference between my husband and his youngest sibling, and there's 9 of them.
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty wild having a sister as young as your daughter.
Yeah, and I was gonna say also though, like, newsflash, Shane and Braden got back together and got married.
Oh yeah, I married my hubby.
I married the guy.
Yeah.
From earlier in the story.
So yeah.
Okay, so when did you get back together and all that? How long did you date? Engagement? Like, what was the timeline?
So after we broke up, after high school, our families had a big falling out, and so it was. And then he and I kind of every once in a while would reach back out, but nothing happened because we knew, like, our families were not getting along. So we're like, we can't get back together or anything. Plus, we weren't mature yet.
Plus, the Lord was still doing some pruning.
Yeah. So, anyway, we finally got back together, reconnected at Adoration, of all places. And
God is so good.
Oh gosh, how old? We were 21? No, 22. We were 22 when we, right? How old am I now?
Okay, how long did you date before you got engaged?
Not long, like less than 6 months.
We were 5 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is spooky.
This is spooky. Okay, and then you were engaged for...
Okay, proposed in March.
Your marriage, your wedding, and then... And...
Was it March? Yes, yeah, because we...
got married in February.
Had to get married in February. Yeah, because we... the time that I wanted to get married would not have met the requirement for the
so you were
marriage
engaged for
formation,
11
marriage prep.
months. Okay, so you're talking like you got married in 2019, so you're talking like an 18-month time frame. So this is like 2017 when you caught back up.
Yes. Yep.
You
You're right, because Joanna was
Hashtag
about
math.
2. Thank God for you, because God gave me a calculator. Okay.
You sure didn't use it here.
That's because you're here.
I don't think you can plug that in the same way that you think you can. Anyways.
I'm not a math person. Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah. So, no, we got back together, spent not a lot of time for, and because that was kind of the deal when we got back together. I was like, listen,
if we do this, it's permanent.
like, this is it.
We have the same
We're going
conversation.
all in. And we did. Ring flex.
The other funny thing is that we have very similar engagement.
We do. We do.
Totally different wedding bands, but definitely
Let me see.
similar
Let
engagement.
me see. Because, yours not, are yours soldered?
Heck no.
Oh, mine are soldered.
No, I didn't want
So
solder.
I've got a sapphire, which is really funny because my mom's wedding band is mostly sapphires.
But this has got the same. We've got the same weave on the
spinny.
side of it. We've got a square situation. Square situation happening in the diamond.
Yep, very similar.
Yeah, yeah. We were we dated for 5 months.
I've got
we were
some
engaged
sapphires.
for 6. You got married.
Nice.
And yeah, so we were together 12, 11 months. Like, we'll be together 5 years in January.
Okay.
But we're married 4.
We're getting ready to celebrate 6 years in February.
And then you add the 6, 7, 8 years of friendship.
Yeah.
In front of that.
Yeah.
Which is the only reason that this
So,
happened.
I mean, really,
That's the reason I would say for you.
yeah. I've known, so it was funny, like, I've known of Braden since I was 8, but I didn't start knowing him until high school.
Nice.
So, because he scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
I was going to say,
Didn't want to know
I
him
did
anymore.
not. So Ethan's family and my family were both at St. Peter's at the same time, and they moved out to St. John's like a year before we moved out to St. John's. So we were like in the same vicinity, but we didn't know each other, didn't see each other. Yeah. And then
Wasn't
in high
time.
school, no, and then in high school, behold, this tall, dark, and handsome guy comes walking in my sophomore year.
Talking about HVAC.
Right, green eyes. I had no idea about the HVAC. That sideswiped me later. But we bonded over music and argued over my choices. And now we have a beautiful marriage and 2 babies.
That's so funny. It's funny. Braden and I
We got our arguing out before we got married.
Braden and I are different than I think we thought we would be. It's like, I have 6 tattoos, and he's got 1.
I have 3, he has 0.
We thought that he would definitely have a sleeve.
I joked that my husband would look so good with a sleeve, and he gets so offended. Well, I mean, not truly offended, but he's like, don't even. It's not even funny. And I'm like, best friend tattoo?
No, I told Braden doesn't ever wear his wedding band because of the work that he does.
Mine isn't supposed to, but he does.
And I was like, hey, why don't we get a tattoo?
He actually said he would be down for that. That would be the one he would get, would be a wedding band.
Yeah. So listen, because we're not going anywhere. This is we're stuck.
This is for realsies.
It's
okay.
We're lifers.
Holy cow, it's been an hour, and we have heard Haley's testimony.
Yeah.
And we
With a
sort
lot
of
of laughter.
segued- Yes, praise God.
Yeah.
But we also kind of segued into an eventual marriage episode that
Yeah.
we have scheduled.
Yep.
Yeah. So, thanks for sticking around. It was we had some really high highs and some really low lows in this episode.
Yeah, we
they
did.
came back to back.
Yeah, they did. Yep.
This episode is a trip, so make sure you had popcorn and drinks. We'll put that in
At
all
the
posts.
end.
Well-
Get your popcorn and drinks now that it's over, okay?
You know what? We'll post on
Because
Sunday
you're
night.
probably tired
Okay.
like we are.
I
After
need a snack.
this emotional roller coaster that just happened here.
And this is our 3rd episode, ladies and gentlemen. So we're at 2 hours of recording at this point. Praise God for His mercy and His Holy Spirit that keeps it. Oh, and the caffeine He created that keeps us functioning.
Yes.
We hope
God's go-go juice.
Yeah, God's go-go juice. No side effects.
A little shaky, but that's fine.
You can have the Holy Spirit shakes, okay, but there's no hangover. Anyway, you can find us. We're Holy Surrender all over the place. Please, on the post we post about this podcast episode, or comment if you're on Spotify. And if we figured out Apple Podcasts by that point, do whatever they do. But just let us know if this resonated with you. We would love if you would email us your testimonies over at hello@whollysurrender.com, because we really do want to make this a community of like-minded people. And we would love to hear your stories. It helps us decide what we're going to do on the podcast. And next time we do a testimony, at least between us, we'll be doing the Wheel of Testimony, and we'll
that'll
play
be fun.
a fun game, with it. So, thank you for sticking around and tuning in. She has a beautiful testimony and a beautiful heart for what she does and for the peoples. And thank you for sharing. Oh, shucks. Thank you for sharing.
I'm glad to haven't gotten to share for a while.
Oh, yes.
That's nice.
I'm sure we'll have
This
plenty
is a lot more laughs than it used to be.
It's different when it's like...
It's an unhinged testimony.
Unhinged. Ooh, I'm going to title it Haley's Unhinged Testimony. Ooh. It's not what you think.
It's our tagline.
It is.
It's not what you think.
I already had that on an episode.
Yeah.
Don't get bored. Stick around. Give us a follow. Keep us on your homepage so you can discern whether you're supposed to listen to us or not. And we'll catch you next time.